Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of Poor Man's Drag Truck, and a lot of things have happened since the last time. I know it doesn't look a whole lot different, but it will in a minute or two. There's been a lot of changes, and I'm going to go through all that on the disassembly of this, and just some tech tips and stuff for putting bolts away so you don't get them lost and that sort of thing, and going to go over that, and some things I found that were wrong when they put the truck together before, and where I'm headed with the sheet metal. And we're going to take the fenders off and the core support off here to expose the front of the frame rails, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and so let's get after it. So I've unbolted the fenders, and I went through all that because it can be a real time-consuming, stupid mess. And one thing I hate about these videos is when it takes forever to get through it, or they speed it all up and they do the work and all that. And, well, let's just not do the editing. So anyway, I've taken all the fenders loose, pretty much. They're just kind of hanging here. Now I'm going to pop these off and pop the core support off, and then we're going to go over a few things. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to go over what I did the last time. So, as you know, there was a lot to get done in here. I got all the heater hoses all put up there, the wiring harness put up away, stripped away from the fenders. The jack is gone. I've decided it's not going back in. Delete. So that all came out of here, and as you can see, there's like lube everywhere, sprayed everywhere. Well, I really wanted to take the fenders off and get rid of the fenders first, and then take the inner fenders out last. That was my plan. But the bolts were so tight, I don't know if you can see these back in here. Well, there's, it's indefinable. These right here, they get so crusted up, they're really a problem, and I really didn't want to go through snapping them all off. And I did lose a few, but not too many. Heat, that's the key. If it's getting bad, get out the torch, warm everything up good, and everything comes apart really good. Now, going across through here, I've pulled the wiring harness off the fenders, off the front core support, and stripped all that away. Took all that out. That vacuum canister is gone. Pretty much deleted all the Chrysler ignition system because I don't need it. I'm going to take and probably pigtail off the positive wire that goes to the ballast resistor so that it's keyed to go into the MSD box. So that's where I'm going to pick up the power for that. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, well, so roughly the wiring harness that was up here is folded up there, and the rest of it I took off in a complete harness, which is underneath. Well, it was underneath that box. I wonder what I did. Oh, there it is. There's the wiring harness. Battery box is going to be deleted, obviously. I may put it back, clean it up, acid dip it and clean it up, and put it back in, put a vacuum pump on, because I'm not going to make any vacuum with this motor. There's just no way to run my power brakes any other way that I can think of. The bumper, that's definitely deleted. It's way too heavy. I haven't weighed it yet, but I will weigh it, and I will put it in my next video. So let's talk a little bit about nuts and bolts and losing stuff. You see how these bolts are just laying here? Well, here's the thing. You can put them in a can or put them somewhere, but you always seem to lose some bolts. Well, if you put them in a Ziploc bag and label them bumper, you know, or fender, or whatever, you know, and I did the same thing with the fender bolts. They're all nice, neat, little tidy bag, so they don't have a tendency to roll away or get lost or whatever, because I have lost more bolts than anybody on the planet, I swear to God. That's pretty much it for what's going on with the front of this. The second part of this was to get the whole front clip off to expose the frame so that I could take this truck out and pressure wash the ever-loving hell out of it. Now, another thing I noticed too, this is a locking mount, okay? So if you break a motor mount, your engine's going to rock this way, okay? If you break a motor mount, that's supposed to stop the engine from going crazy. But this is supposed to be on that side. So I know guys have done this and put them on this side before, but that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be over there so that under load, if it should happen to break, it goes nuts. Another thing is, one of my friends come in here and he goes, well, what are them weird clips for? Well, when these things came from the factory, they had a rubber boot that ran all the way through here, just a piece of rubber, and those clips were to fasten the rubber to the frame rail to keep it from flapping, and that's just to keep water and mud and whatever else out of the engine compartment so it doesn't splash up on the manifolds and things like that. So we're pretty much ready to take and pull the front fenders and the core support, and then we'll talk a little bit about where I'm going for the next episode. You're gonna have to bear with me because I'm really not very good at this whole photography thing. I always thought I'd get better, but I doubt it. So there we go. You can actually see the truck. All right. So, now as you can see, the inner fender is attached to this. Now I'm going to take this inner fender off, and because I want to acid dip. I don't know if you can see that or not in camera, but where the battery was is just horrid. I want to acid dip the inner fender and clean them up really good. This is the poor man's drag truck, so I don't want to spend any more money than I absolutely have to. So, I'll set this guy aside, and we'll stand there. Here, sit there. My son also came up with another project because he's leveling his Dodge Cummins. Well, that was quick. Kind of knew that was going to happen. So, I actually did that on purpose because I wanted to play a joke. I knew it was going to flip off there because I already took the bolts out, and it's a top heavy piece. So anyway, now that the core support has removed itself, we can move on with the next thing. Looks like I have to buy a plastic, what's it? God, those things are so rotten. Man, they're just terrible. Anyway, I knew it was going to fall forward and fall on the floor. I was kind of playing a joke on all you guys, thinking this was an epic disaster. Another thing I'm going to show you what we did to level this thing before is we just took, because it sat funny, so we put these in here to get the thing to sit straight, and it never sat right. It sat low on this side for some reason. We couldn't figure out why. So those will be removed because the weight of the 440 will probably make this thing set level. It depends on two things. One, I'm going to take the motor mounts out. I'm going to put the Mancini poly locks in here, or Schumacher if you want to, because he was the guy who designed them, but they're sold by multiple people now. And if I get all the sheet metal mocked up on this thing once again, then I will take and I will have all the physical weight less the hood, and I will see how the truck sits and where it sits and make some measurements and so on there, and decide if I need to go with the lowering kit in the front. But I don't want this thing laying on the ground. I just want it level, and everything is very dependent on the rear axle and when I get done with that. But I will explain a little bit about what's going to happen there, and I'm going to save most of that for the next episode, because I'm going to go through rear ends, I'm going to go through the various widths of rear ends from B bodies from 1962 to 1970, actually all the way up to 72, and what this thing is supposed to be, the spring purchases and the spring widths and so on there. So as you can see, this tire slightly sticks out, but it won't when I get done. It'll be right inside the wheelhouse. And I've been in a huge quandary on wheels and tires, and I'm going to run the slots on it for the street. I'm thinking I'm going to go with my 1510 center lines, and I'm going to put 12 inches of slick underneath the back of it, and that's going to be good enough. I'm pretty sure it'll launch pretty well. The way I'm going to set up the suspension, I'm sure it'll be just fine. I'm actually going to get a hold of Joe too, and Mopar Joe, and bounce a few ideas off of him, because he has a build coming up too where he's going to transplant a 6-cylinder into one of these and put a V8 in it. And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag on what he's going to do there, but I'm sure he'll get to it. So I've already started taking the rear tire out this side, because I wanted to take and start stripping everything out from underneath it. And then I'm going to, like I said, I just want to get this thing to roll so I can go wash it. It's going to get washed several times, but there's, well, as Mopar Joe would call it, a funk. There's a lot of funk inside the frame rail, and it's going to take several pressure washings probably to get it off there and get it super clean. I'm going to not take the cab off. The sheet metal repair that needs to be done to the cab will be done with it sitting right on the frame, because there's nothing wrong with the mounts or anything like that. And it's going to need some rocker repair. The doors are going to get pulled. They're going to need some repair, and there's some floor work that needs to be done. So we'll be going through all this step by step. Episode 3 or part 3 will be the rear end swap, and to go to a B-body rear end and the results of that. So here's where we're at. Front clip all removed, wiring harness all pulled back, ready to start cleaning things and go from there. I will be also probably putting Pour 15 on the frame rails. More than likely that's what the product I'm going to use. My Eastwood has a fairly good product too that is supposed to stop rust. As you can see, that front piece is pretty rusty. I'm not going to sandblast anything. I'm not going to get crazy with stuff. I will probably acid treat that and get it as clean as it can be, and then just cover it. There's a lot of decent products out there for that sort of thing. So anyway, I hope you like what you saw, and hope you had a good laugh when the core support flipped off the front. And that was just for Jamie at Dead Dodge Garage. Did that special just for him. Anyway, we'll see you in the next episode of Poor Man's Drag Truck. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is going to be a hoot when she's all done.